There you go. Okay, thanks, and welcome everyone to the first 2017 CPCoalition Friday call-in. I am Nathan Wood with Spectrum AEC, and with me is Jim Gentile down in LA with Lend-Lease. We're going to be going through the version 2.0 debut of the construction PDF guidelines. I know a few folks were very much anticipating getting this out. It's sort of maybe a soft launch because it's always going to be a living document and always growing and looking for your feedback, but do want to take time to share what's going on with that. Before we do, for anyone who is not familiar with the background on the CPCoalition, we originally, the Construction PDF Coalition began in 2013 and was based around a common problem with general contractors of understanding the needs between the real world of paper-based drawings and Excel sheets and poor data and a lot of AutoCAD SHX fonts and not very clear standards on how to produce really good collaborative, smart digital PDFs, and wanting to be in the world with all the other organizations that we collaborate with, Building Smart and BIM Forum and Autodesk and Revit and the Construction Open Standards Alliance to really bridge that gap between the two. So our current efforts right now and our mission is really to connect our partners, which are the technology providers, both hardware, software, service, and standards, and connect those with the users of the technology, owners, architects, engineers, GCs, trade contractors, as well as industry review, the AHJ, authorities having jurisdiction, enabling open source collaboration between them. But again, being founded on the need for PDFs and PDFs being an open source since 2008, an ISO standard, I want to introduce Jim Gentile, our initiative lead for the PDF Guidelines 2.0, and why don't you take it away, Jim?
Cool, thank you for the introduction. So the intent here today's presentation, we have about 5 or 6 slides to go through. That's going to give you a high-level overview of version 2.0. As soon as we get done going through the slides, just so everybody kind of has that overview, we'll jump into the studio session and actually look at the documents and go through slide by slide and look for some comments and volunteers to kind of continue to help with the process. So what you get to see is actually back one slide is that introduction and overview. So like we talked about, the consistency across drawings, the drawing creation, and collaboration and security. So those are 3 points that really we're focusing on. And as we dive in, those chapters get bigger and bigger within the guidelines. Through that, with the appendix, this is really where the biggest growth has happened within the guidelines, and also expanding the coalition. So we'll look at the glossary of how additional items influence those 3 items towards the top of the screen. And then we have our frequently asked questions. And as you know, that will always be expanding and growing. And then we do offer some sample documents. So we're going to provide some exhibits that will reference everybody back to kind of what we feel is an industry standard towards that. And then this the how-to reference, whether it's inside the standards or to outside industry, Autodesk or Bluebeam, or wherever we decide to go for that reference. And then just contacts, how to get a hold of anybody on the coalition so that we can answer your question and help your project be more successful. So diving into consistency across drawings, we really start to focus on the sheet naming convention, the plot location, sheet size, scale, grid visibility, title block, and metadata. What does it take to have that consistency across the drawings? So from there, drawing creation on the next slide is really the authoring application for best practices, and then PDF export for best practices so we can have that best use case down the road in the field or in the office to utilize whatever software we are using so we can get the, again, best use or best practice for that PDF and that document. So on the next slide for collaboration and security, digital signatures are key in this area. Along with the digital signatures, we're going to be adding RFIs, submittals, and drawings, and kind of talking about the addition of collaboration and what is the best practice within the industry to talk about those 3 topics: drawing, submittals, and RFIs. Those are always the headache One person might have RFIs down, one person might be using submittal exchange. It just depends on what we're using and how we're doing that within that process, and trying to fine tune how we do the collaboration, because that's also part of that, and getting that collaboration up front. On slide 9, we move to our appendix, where we really cover metadata, optical character recognition, OCR, raster and vector, and then the text. So just kind of how we really want to view that document and how we can kind of help with that. A document could have either or, and we could then view it in a PDF, but the benefits of having items 3 or 4 being in the way that we would like is very helpful. Please feel free to stop me if you have any questions. We really got 2 slides left, so we are kind of going fairly quick because we do want to get into the meat of the presentation, which is the actual guidelines, but giving everybody that overview. So again, frequently asked questions. We have a few examples listed there, but this is really part of an additional initiative about how to expand this section, and how does, you know, if somebody can reach out to the coalition and ask us, how do I do this? We don't have to give them the manual on the coalition and the guidelines. We can just give them a specific answer for that specific need. And then again, this is where those exhibits, the how-to and the contacts with the board members. And then as we expand on that, whether we move to sponsors or collaborators within the PDF coalition, you know, we'll have the companies kind of listed there through that process. So,
and Jim, just to add on to that, I think it's really important the way we're dealing with all these different proprietary software solutions that are out there, and not trying to say we can't talk about them, because we need to, but that we really want to separate the first 3 sections of what are the key things that need to be decided at the project or at the owner level, and then the appendix has all the different ways of how to achieve that in many different softwares, and really hoping to expand those sections out that are, you know, as we go into the document, fairly limited right now, but looking for our grassroots organization to fill that sort of stuff in.
Agreed. And then the last slide is my favorite. So collaboration and creation, you know, who can help? And that's really kind of, when we jump over to review, you're going to see how the guidelines have advanced to this version 2.0. And I'll have to thank Terry Ann for getting the PowerPoint backdrop. She might have recognized that. So.
Awesome. So let me go in and actually, we got now 18 folks on the line, and because this is, you know, really an organization for everyone, I'd like to go through and do a quick roll call. And Jim, are you able to take notes on your end by chance?
I can. Let me give me.
Awesome. So what I'm going to go through just and call out by either phone numbers first and then names. And if you can just introduce yourself, you know, a role and company, and you know, any initial comments, feedback, thoughts, and we'll just go down the line. So I think, what did we decide earlier? The 213, is that you, Jim?
Yes. Okay.
And so 360, I'm sorry, who was that again? Oh, did we lose him? Might be muted. All right, while we wait for that, I'm going to go down to 704. You're unmuted. Hello? Anyone call from 704? All right.
I did. This is.
Oh, awesome.
I did. This is Daryl. I started my own consulting business through DesignWorks. So I work with a bunch of different people out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and yeah, that's all. Nice to meet you all.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on the call. Awesome. Next one is 836. Or I'm sorry, 863. 863. Oh, I see.
Construction.
Now you're unmuted. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Tim Middlesitch, Lakeland, Florida. Estimator, Director of Pre-Construction, Folsom Construction Management. We're basically a small construction company, do a lot of repeat design build work, mostly warehouses and offices in the Central Florida area.
Awesome. Thanks so much for calling in, Tim, and thanks for pressuring us to get the version 2.0 out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really interested and hell bent, as I say, on getting this process going. I'm struggling with it with others.
Hashtag shared pains. All right, Alex Tenge, go ahead.
Hey, Alex Tenge, XL Construction, out here, Oakland, California.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Cliff? Oh, hold on. You there, Cliff?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Cliff Moser. I'm working with Stanford on the 500P, the new adult hospital here at Stanford.
Awesome. An owner. Thank you so much for being with us, Cliff.
Sure, thanks.
Any thoughts, just real quickly from the owner's perspective, of anything maybe that was you thought we were missing, or I know you've got a real strong BIM background as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, we use it as in the middle of construction. Obviously, we use Bluebeam everywhere, along with the other PDF tools that are out there. But I think the challenge we have going forward, and I think some of the other owners or architects that have worked with owners can speak to this, is the handover documents, and at the end of the day, how does all of that tie into Maximo, Archibus, all of those other systems that are used for space planning and CMS systems. So I think that'll be an interesting focus in that regard, in terms of maintaining models plus maintaining updated documents after the project is occupied.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know our co-chair just had to drop off, Alan Engel, but he's with JLL, and I'm sure you two could talk BIM for FM for days. So a lot of shared examples there. Thanks so much for calling in, Cliff.
Sure.
Awesome. And next we have Daryl. You on, Daryl? I'm sorry. You spoke earlier because you're on the phone. I'm sorry. You're right. Don Speedy.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Go ahead.
Fantastic. My name is Don Speedy with Fluid Contract Manager. Just here to help out where I can.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Let's see. G Mosley. Is that Greg? Who's that? G Mosley?
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Greg Mosley here. I'm with Bluebeam. And I primarily work with our government and municipality customers. So really just kind of, I've sent the PDF or Construction PDF Coalition link out a number of times, trying to help those customers, learn about some of these document standards and so on. So just kind of here primarily to learn and see what it's all about here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Greg.
Thanks.
Next up is Kelly Vaughn.
Hi, my name is Kelly Vaughn, and I own and operate Verity Yacht Publications in Fuquay, Varina, North Carolina, and we create owner's manuals for custom sport fishing yachts. And in addition to that, I also do training on Adobe Acrobat and other Adobe publishing programs.
Very cool. So I'm curious what sort of challenges you run into in more of the yacht business. Would you say it's closer to manufacturing or closer to construction? It's sort of in the middle.
I'm not entirely sure which one it would be closer to, because they manufacture a lot of their own equipment and their own parts in-house, but I would imagine it's probably closer to the building end of things. I do get provided quite a bit of mechanical arrangements and different plumbing diagrams and wiring diagrams and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of different layout drawings that I have to work with. Those are the primary documents that I receive from my clients.
Awesome, great. Well, yeah, I know if you're only on Adobe currently, we'll get you the PDF version of that. Would love to get any of your feedback from your perspective, because yeah, definitely a unique perspective from most of the folks we get on here. So thanks so much for joining.
You're welcome.
Next up is Lori. Oh, thanks.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead, Lori.
Great. Lori Spiller. I work at Autodesk in the BIM 360 division, and I'm calling in from San Francisco.
Can we do the meeting from your office next time?
Yeah, come on over.
It's pretty cramped in here.
Anytime.
Awesome. Thanks, Lori. Lily. Lily. Oh, maybe. Missed that. Okay, let's go on to Nick. Nick Tilford?
Yeah, hi. Nick Tilford with Chef Steel, servicing as a project coordinator and a BIM coordinator.
Awesome. And next up, we got Ruben.
Unmute here real quick. Let's see. Am I unmuted? I am.
Very good.
Ruben Stone. I'm with T. Wyland International. I'm a delivery manager.
Awesome. Thanks, Ruben. And I don't know if you'd gotten on later gotten to see the guidelines at all. I know we've been talking a lot about the version 1 ones, but as someone who's really producing a lot of those drawings, it'd be great to get some of your feedback on maybe some of the things that we're not thinking of what we're asking for as the downstream recipients, and definitely looking for your feedback on how the other half lives. Let's see. I know Roberto is also on as well with Keller Pacific. I think he sent a message that he had to stay on mute. But looks like next we have Sal. Or Saltzman. I'm trying to read this. Let me unmute. Sorry. Is it Saul?
Saltzman.
Oh, Saltzman. Awesome.
Yep.
How are you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Steve Saltzman from Grand Rapids, Michigan. A little colder up here. We're a full-service architectural engineering and civil firm, and we have an office down in North Carolina, and kind of got interested through our group down there. So
awesome.
Just new to the whole thing.
Cool. How did you find out about CPCoalition?
Through a coworker down in our North Carolina office.
Oh, awesome. Great.
Yep.
And last, well, not last, but Terry Ann. Oh, sorry, I muted you. Go ahead, Terry Ann.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Terry Ann. I work for Bluebeam, and with the coalition, I help to manage the website. So that's my role within the coalition, and then doing some random PowerPoints here and there. And so with any sort of events or to get your picture onto the website and those kinds of things, you can email me. But that's my role in the coalition. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Terry Ann. And can we do that together next week, Terry, and get the version 2.0 up on the website, or maybe you can show me how?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and we can get the calls. I just thought of that as well. We'll get the call information on there as well under the events.
So for anyone who did miss it before, if you look in the chat box of the Zoom meeting, there is a link to join the Bluebeam Studio session, the cloud review, so you can see everybody else's comments and feedback on the documents in a live view, sort of open for everyone. Or by next week, we will have the PDF version of it up onto the CPCoalition.com website. But one person I did forget, who's sitting right here next to me, Damon Hernandez. You want to introduce yourself for everyone real quick?
Yeah, Damon Hernandez. I come more from a technology background, spent time with fabricators, and most people know me as the founder of the AEC Hackathon. So really interested in all of this.
I convinced Damon that PDFs are legitimate. It's me. No. But we've had really great conversations about how to both play in the world of virtual reality and augmented reality, but also get some of the simple stuff done, like the examples here as far as, again, consistent just naming conventions. Sorry, let me use this better here. Consistent naming conventions as far as using logic and understanding, how engineers, how downstream contractors are going to leverage a lot of these tools of advanced search and advanced linking, that as long as you have a consistent logic to the way that things are named, we can do some really amazing hyperlinking and much faster navigation of the drawings that are going to make it virtually impossible to say that, looking through a paper set of drawings is faster than having it on your iPad when everything is linked this consistently and this well. Some of the other things just of what happens when we don't have very consistent, plot locations for our title blocks and for our other grid lines, so that advanced light table overlays that we want to do, we can't, not because the PDF's broken, but because the way it was produced or the way it was printed out of the authoring tool, wasn't set up correctly. So there's, again, want everyone to, come in and give your comments, give your thoughts. Are there things in this front section that you've run into that we haven't hit on before? And if you feel like you have a solution to this, we definitely want to post those solutions and get those into the appendix, into those how-tos. So sort of reference the section number and any one of these areas where you think you're solving this. And please do contribute that to this, and we'll make sure and credit yourself for anything that you're able to share and get this into the next version of probably 2.1. So Jim, do you want to talk a little bit about what the next steps are for collecting these reviews and coming up with the next version?
Sure. So we've spent, I think, probably about 2 months dissecting and then reinstalling and putting together the version 2.0. To kind of debut it today in public and kind of show everybody what it looks like. There's 2 pathways that we have with this. So the guidelines that you're looking at in front of you will grow to more than 13 pages throughout the course of, the coalition's life. And the intent would be even tomorrow, if we were to add 5 more pages, that's great. But what we don't want to do is burden a project team or anybody who is having to use these guidelines to create that standard. So the standards are going to be reinvented so that 3 or 4 page printout that you can get with your logo and your process stays the same and fillable from online. And then we're going to reference you back to this larger piece of data here that takes you to all of the information. So if you want to learn more and understand more, you can. And you then also have, within the next few weeks, the ability to download this full form through that process. And our goal would be probably monthly. I think Nate and I have agreed internally that we'll update every version for this next year, at least monthly. So version 2, version 2.1, version 2.3, as we get more feedback from everybody, and as if somebody's really passionate about a section and they want to put some more into it, we'll give you that time to do that and kind of outline what those updates look like throughout the year. And then throughout the conferences, as we attend them and we go to those different locations, we can update and increase our better understanding of each one of those guidelines and those chapters and sections. So everybody's contribution is heard, and it really becomes a living document that we can work with and establish the guidelines as the technology and the culture changes.
Absolutely. And one thing too, we want to try and make it as easy as possible for folks. Sometimes you may have created a PowerPoint or a document in the past that that solves some of these problems where you've got screenshots and instructions, and you don't want to take the time to really write it out in a more professional manner. You just want to slap that document up there. Anything that you can do to share what you've done in the past, and even if in its rawest form, if you're okay with sharing it, we'll digest it, we'll look at it, see as much of it as we can use and frame and send back to you to say, yeah, is this how you believe it should be done, and we'll reference your contact and get that out. So really looking forward. It's great to see how many folks are already in the studio session, and hoping to collect a bunch of comments over the next few weeks, and look for 4 weeks from now, we'll be doing another call where we do an update to the PDF guidelines. And in the meantime, please do continue to share these with your colleagues, share this with your owners. Go to cpcoalition.com/create, and you can actually create your own custom version of the guidelines. So there's plenty of ways to be involved, and with that, we'll leave it open if there's anyone who's got any questions or comments in the last 5 minutes here. But knowing how busy everyone is, we'll try and make these calls about 30 minutes every other week.
Hey, Nate. Yeah. Brian Smith here. I'm that 360 number. I just couldn't get to the mute button fast enough.
Oh, awesome. Go ahead, Brian.
I just was wanting to say that I like where you guys are going with this. I like how it's a living document, and how you're going to make it easily updatable once we get on board with it.
Absolutely, thank you. And yeah, please welcome. We welcome all the feedback, good, bad, and ugly. Even if it's why is this thing in a studio session? I don't use studio sessions, and that's fine too. We want to share it as many open source ways as we can, get it out there and send feedback to us in the way that's referred to you, and we'll try and learn from it. So any other last thoughts?
I think we hit on it at the last meeting, where we don't want to recreate the wheel. We want to gather existing information, aggregate the data, analyze and look for the opportunity to create more consistency across the standards for drawing, deliverables, and data sharing. So I think that's really, we know there's a process out there. We want to fine tune it, create the standard, and create that for everybody to use to be more efficient.
Awesome. Maybe the last thing, I don't know, is Tim still on? Tim, I'm curious, just because you're so interested in this, and I'm curious to get some of your thoughts, if you think this can address some of the challenges you're facing, or what else we can do to help support you in your efforts.
Well, I mean, the answer is yes, but the thing that I'm looking for, I'm really just having a hard time trying to convince or even have people listen to me to get them to realize that a PDF document is a lot more than just something that you email to someone and then they print it. And I'm talking about, owners, architects in particular. I'm looking for a simple way to try to convince people to do what it is we're trying to do here. And the smartness of, that the PDFs are actually a smart document, not just a flat piece of paper that you print.
Very, very well said, Tim. I think, we've got a lot of communication and translation between all the great designers and builders in our industry to realize we're all coming from different sides of the same problem, and we can solve it together. But I think the more we can share these, the more you're helping to share the message, Tim. I think we'll all do it together.
Okay, I appreciate it. I'm interested in staying involved and helping and getting some help myself.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, great videos on the our YouTube channel as well. So check out the CPCoalition YouTube channel. Maybe there's some videos that strike a chord you can send to some folks. But I heard someone else on the line. Go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
Hey, Nathan, do you want us to do a bit of grammar checks and spelling checks on this thing now, or are you going to?
Yes,
right.
We want to make it as official. Yeah, be nitpicky, be broad strokes, anything you see, even just orientation, structure, we want to hit all that stuff, because it's really just Jim and I and a little bit of help from Alan and others giving feedback. So it needs help in all directions. So thank you.
Yes, please.
All right. So you're just going to leave the session open for a little while?
Yeah.
Yep.
At least 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Excuse me, Tim here again.
Yes.
Did I miss something? How do I get on the session? Do I need to get invited, or was I invited and didn't see it, or?
So are you just calling in, or is your computer on this as well?
Well, I'm on my iPad. I'm actually in the car. I couldn't get back to the office, so I'm sitting in a parking lot with my iPhone and iPad. So I see the screen.
Okay.
But
well, if you can see the screen, there's a link in there. But you know what, Tim, for you, I'll email you directly the link to the invite, and we'll also send out a separate email with both the document itself to just open up on your phone or computer, and then as well as a link to the studio session, which is the most direct and easy for us way to give feedback. But however you can get feedback to us. Great.
Hey, Tim, I just jumped on by typing in that 9-digit number, like a phone number. Click on the word session, it pops up a little dialog box, and you type in those 9 numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in the invitation then.
Is it? I didn't see it in the invitation. I just launched Bluebeam, launched a session, and then typed in those numbers.
It's one of the sneaky ways to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Tim, you may be able to get it through. Well, no, I can't see your computer right here, so I think you're just called in on it. So that may be the reason why, but it's fine. I'll get it to you immediately after this call.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. All right. Unless there are any other thoughts, we will wrap it up right at 1:30. Thank you guys all so much. Thank you for going in and adding those comments, please. And looking forward to another call up here in a couple weeks. So keep an eye out for that next registration.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nate, do you want to stay on for a second?
I'll just call you.
Okay. Bye.